Okay, hero. So where we headed?
Well, as all heroes need, like the Avengers, I think we gotta start with some food. Just like how they ended in the Avengers, we gotta get some food.
I have the perfect idea.
Hello.
Oh,
Oh.
wow. So, we are eating food
Yeah,
because our characters want to be heroic.
that's right.
We need
Subsistence.
sustenance, yes.
That's right.
So, I'm pretty sure my bottle, actually, before that, roll the intro. And we're back. So, my bottle, like, it's supposed to be one of the ones that like keeps it cold,
Yeah.
but it doesn't anymore. And I'm not sure what I did to it to mess that up, but it's really bad. And it tastes not enjoyable, but I'm gonna drink it anyways.
You should.
'Cause it's
Gotta hydrate.
hydration station. Here, have a napkin. Careful
Thank you.
to not let it blow
I'm
away.
gonna tuck it under my water bottle.
Rocka. Whoa. Boss.
Rocka boss.
Oh no. No litter.
I got it.
Thank you.
Go right in my pocket.
Perfect. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for inviting me out on this journey.
Thank you for taking time to do so.
I felt bad because we were kind of making plans to do so, and then I had stuff come up, but stuff happens.
Could you? I mean, I feel like it worked out.
It did.
These burritos are so good.
That's the biggest burrito I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Woo.
They're very juicy.
That's what I like about it.
That's delicious. Highly recommend. I'm gonna call it the wrong name, but it's Burrito 86, 80, something 86.
I think 86 burrito.
In Ellsworth.
86 burritos.
In Ellsworth.
One of those.
Definitely recommend it. What do we want to talk about today? Like we're taking a break, kind of from our heroic story of you saving the channel.
That's right.
All by yourself, me as your sidekick. To have some food, some sustenance. What was the last video you were in?
That's a good question.
Was it Thanksgiving?
I feel like we did one more after that. We did the food review crossover.
Yes, that was the last one. That was that last year? It might have been one of the only
A year
videos
or two ago.
I put out, whatever year it was. That was fun.
We ate Japanese something, rather. Some snacks and candies and a soda of some sort, I think.
I had a really tough time with the soda. But the what I liked about that one was that we had two versions, one for your Facebook and one for my YouTube. And that had different beginnings.
They had two different intros. So you had to watch one intro on yours and the other intro on mine.
So if you haven't seen either of them, go watch both. You've done a lot of food reviews. I feel like at the end of this meal, we'll have to review this, you know.
I agree.
But before that, let's start with, what is the weirdest food item you have consumed, either on or off of video?
Off video for no video whatsoever. You know, there's this tradition of my uncle gets pickled pig's feet for Christmas Eve. And that's something that, as a family tradition, not mine.
I was like, do you have it every year?
It's kind of passed around, and if anybody wants to take a nibble of literally a pig's hoof and take a bite, you can, and it's disgusting. And I don't understand what's so nutritious about a pig's foot. But on camera, food review wise, my wife made us eat cat food. Dry cat food, not wet cat food, dry cat food, and that was a challenge for me.
Ew.
Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate.
That was like, it wasn't even like we had normal food, and then she's like, "This tastes like cat food. Let me go get some and eat it." Just tell you how it tastes. It was like our video was cat food, like, and it was just cat because our roommate had a cat at the time, so we literally brought the cat in, and
So what do you think?
the cat did not like being held, so he was probably forced against his will just for a couple seconds, and then we let the cat go. But that was got to be the worst food review I've ever done.
What did it taste like? So just so I never have to know. Does it taste as
It's
bad
like-
as it smells?
It's so crunchy, and usually I don't mind like a good crunch and like a chip or something, but it's so crunchy that you can't get past the graininess of it, and it's like it just becomes this milly. The texture is so bad. It tastes like nothing. It tastes like sawdust. In a sense, like, and that's the thing is that kibble is supposed to be flavored like stuff, like chicken or tuna or something. There was no flavor. It was just like gross. Just, I don't know, just gross, nasty.
Basically, the company going, nobody will try to find out if it actually tastes like this.
I don't remember the brand, but it was not great, and I regret doing it.
What was the best thing you've tried?
I gotta be honest. One of the best food reviews we've ever done is one that I did with you when we made and I still think about it to this day, and I haven't made it yet, but I want to, is the Moe's barbecue chicken pizza. We used Moe's barbecue sauce as the base and did that video. That pizza still like, it sits right in the back of my mind. I'm like, I gotta make this pizza again.
Good to know. Did I? I'm gonna have to go watch it again to remember how I made it, because I haven't made that in forever. But I remember using the flatbread because the whole idea was to make something simple but delicious. And then I used some frozen chicken, I think, with sauce. And then I think the thing that really sold me on it was the slices of
We got really thin
mozzarella.
mozzarella. I think we did both. We did provolone and mozzarella.
Right.
It was same brand stuff, and
So good.
we got it from our local deli that we kind of stopped in there and caused a
That we both
havoc.
at some point worked at.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's where we got it from. And then, of course, the Moe's barbecue sauce in the bottle.
And that
Which
was
was
the thing that sold it.
It was the
I love
best
their
part about it.
barbecue sauce. They have new bottles now.
Oh,
They're actually really nice. Instead of like the plastic like drizzled bottles, they're like glass.
yep.
It's really cool.
That's fun. Well, I kind of like the plastic feel to them. I don't know. Maybe that's just.
Especially for squirting it out. Easier to point, yeah. This is really good. I think it's as good as the first time I had it, but better than the second time I had it. Because the second time I had it, this specifically, it was a little over spiced. The first time it was like perfectly balanced, but the second time it was like, Do you have a favorite type of food?
Yeah. So my wife calls herself the pizza queen. She's all about pizzas. I'm like a huge like burger guy. Like that time we had the Mr. Beast ones from the Ghost Kitchen.
Yep.
But I love smash patties, smash burgers. And one of the best burgers to get is I think at Mason's. Has a bunch of smash patties, and they always change their flavors up, and that is delicious. I love a good burger.
Mason's and Brewer.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had at least one burger there before. It was a Super Saiyan burger, and it had an egg on it, which was cool, but then it was too spicy.
Ooh.
And it's like I like spice, not as much as before, the hot sauce video, but I still like spice.
Did the hot sauce video
It changed me.
change you?
It changed me completely. I can't. Ever since then, like I just don't do spice anywhere near her as well.
Okay.
Like it's like my body like truly biologically changed to a point where it's like this is bad for you. We recognize this feeling in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
The last time it kind of like broke you for a few days where you didn't do any of your biological needs correctly and nothing tasted correct. So we're going to save this from you and we're going to make it feel worse for you than it actually is. That's what I'm thinking has happened to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I used to be able to get really hot stuff, but it's like after that one, not even a teaspoon of hot sauce, I am different.
That was one of the funniest videos of all time for me to watch, of course. And I'm glad you did that after we did all of our food stuff, because I think it was right around the same time we made the pizza, strawberry shake.
Mm.
There might have been a third item. I feel like there's 3 things that we made. But anyways, in the beginning of this Save the Channel videos for September, you mentioned that and said that you didn't think you were going to be the same, and I totally forgot about it till just now. Then you mentioned that, and I was like, wait, what does he mean by that? What happened that day? And then I rewatched it to make sure.
Yeah. I think about that day a lot.
I think about how when we filmed with your brother, that he picked me up and he only met me for like 5 minutes. And the dude was like tossing me. That's another thing I think about quite often in the video process.
Just made it work. It's like, hello, I am Ryan. You are here to toss me.
You're going to pick me up and throw me out.
And he was like, okay, I'm down.
Do you want to buy this weight? Yeah, that's funny to me.
I've rewatched the first video you were in on the channel, where you sell the peeps to me, or don't sell the peeps to me, rather.
Mm-hmm.
But that it's still by far one of my favorite videos because it's just like it still hits home every time I watch it, where it just makes me it makes me laugh so hard.
When you, of course, I think, is that the first video ever? So there's that on top of that one scene of you eating the peep. I just can't get out of my, like, every time, and you mentioned it earlier. And every time I think about peeps now, I just think about the one shot of you just eating it really slowly.
Do you have a favorite video you've done on my channel?
I was telling my wife again about a blooper that I couldn't find, and it was from the Thanksgiving one. And you put you're standing up behind me at the table. I'm going like this. And you put your hand on my shoulder, and you're like, "How do you feel about dying?" And I remember not being ready for it. And I think we had to shoot it like a couple times, but the Thanksgiving one's the best, about all cranberry everything, and everyone's all in the other room, and you and I are sitting at the actual dining table, and it's just, for me, it's just so, there's not like, we didn't intentionally make it funny that way, but it just comes across funny as you watch all this stuff that's happening in the other room. But the Thanksgiving one's one of my favorites.
What's funny about that? I've been talking about this a lot with people who have made stuff with me on my channel, and the thing that's the funniest jokes are accidents or just random thoughts of just like or they're me trying to figure out how to make something happen because I can't make something else happen. So literally the only reason why we had the minor character table and the main character table was because I couldn't get everybody together. And so I was like, how do I make this happen? And so there was like no rhyme or reason why people were at their table other than the fact that it was like, I think I could film with you first. And so then I was like, okay, so I'll just be at this table. And then I filmed with everybody else the next time. It's either that or a lot of the people had only been in a few videos already, and you had been in the most other than Kaylee. But Kaylee hadn't been much in that series of videos. But and then just the ad-libbing, just like just the because it's like I don't even remember why I thought about it. I think it was like your character said something, and I was like, well.
Do you ever pick favorite videos, or are you like
Oh yeah.
pretty okay? I wasn't sure. Like as a creator, I wasn't sure if you ever like come across stuff and you're like, actually, yeah, I'm really proud of that one. Or
There's a lot of them. Some of them actually, they're not out yet as of recording this, but I really loved what I was able to do with basically my brother's wife, Jenna. She backstory, I guess. We were up in Holton during the eclipse, and she was wearing a hat that reminded me of Indiana Jones. And I was like, oh, we should do something like this where you can do archaeological stuff. Totally kind of forgot about it, let it pass by. I was like, that was a funny thought because there's like tons of those thoughts that exist in the ether that are just like they're said out loud and then they're like, well, that was fun to think about. But then I was like looking for video ideas and I'm like, oh, this would be really funny if I sent her on an adventure. Of course, really had no clue what I was going to send her on other than the concept was Georgia Jenna because instead of Indiana Jones.
Okay.
And so and so then as I was like literally I had like 3 ideas. One was that the name. 2 was that I was going to split it up into a few episodes of some sort. 3 was I was going to try to color it similar to Indiana Jones and give it kind of a filmy look. And then, but beyond that, I didn't know where it was going to go. And then literally driving over to record it, I was like, oh, it would be really funny if, or no, it was right before I went over because I figured out that I wanted to use the Infinity Cup from the Finite Heroes because I hadn't touched that in anything since then. So then I went. So then driving over, I was like, okay, so what else? And then I was thinking about because like the last or the third Indiana Jones, is the Last Crusade, and then the whole thing was the Holy Grail, and so I was like, this works really well for this idea. And then as I was going along with it, as I was driving, I was like, oh, and if I'm using this, I think I still have Ragnar the Rock, and so I'll throw them in, and then I was like, oh, also Holy Grail, Monty Python reference, and we decided to do like Bridge of Death sequence kind of, but it was the Path of Death or whatever, and so it was basically just all these things. And then by the time I got there, I'm like, okay, I have a plan, and then we'll see what happens along the way. And then we found a few other jokes to do, and it was, and then and so it's like, and of course going into it, I'm like, at this point I've learned to have low expectations, to a degree, because when I have really high expectations for certain like cinematic ideas and whatnot, that I'm like, and when I say cinematic ideas, I mean like a picture of what I want it to look like. It never comes out as such.
Yeah.
I never do that with the comedy stuff though, because it's always just like I just want to try something and then we'll see. And it usually comes out way better than possibly expected. but with the Georgia Jenna one, um, it came out so well, and so like it looks so good, it flows so
Yeah.
well. It's 3 episodes, and it's like goes Georgia Jenna and the First Adventure, Georgia Jenna and the Basement of Doom, and Georgia Jenna and the Finite Cup. And it's so good. And then right after that, I filmed with James Ayers, who's
Yeah.
been on the channel a bunch
Yeah.
from the very first series I ever did on the channel. He so when I first started planning out this month, I had the idea of wanting to do a noir film with him. That was like a detective thing,
Yeah.
and that's all I knew. And I was like, I had no concept beyond that. I didn't know what the mystery would be. I was like, something along the lines of saving the channel, I guess. You know, maybe it's like the channel got murdered. I don't know.
Right.
That didn't quite happen. But we ran through that, and again, totally on accident, made massive reference to one of my first videos on the channel after the first, saga,
Yeah.
where I literally just walked through a park. We happened to be filming in that very park, and for no other reason other than to get my character from one place to another place, I was walking through it, and literally, I had Kaylee watching it, and to like, because I like to have her check it out to make sure that I didn't miss anything, that there's no glitches or whatnot.
Mhm.
And she's like, "Is this a reference to that video?" Not on purpose whatsoever. Until the very end,
Yeah.
when like right after she said it, I was like, "Oh, you're gonna know." It's like, that's funny because at the very end, James ad-libbing
Yeah.
brought up that video,
Oh,
and it was like, "Oh, that's so genius!" And then it just happened to work out.
that's awesome. Now I'm excited to watch that one.
Haven't quite finished editing it.
That'll be good.
It's
I'm excited.
yeah, it's fun, but I think as far as a single like favorite, like it's groups of favorites, I guess.
Yeah.
I really love what Finite Heroes was. I think that's one of my favorite series. I think I've said this a few times, but the Stardew series I did
Yeah.
is probably, as far as story from beginning to end, it's like I feel like the only one that I've completed, and I love that. And I actually love the story of us, like basically me and Sam, and then eventually Kaylee, and then eventually James, like going through this idea of making this utopia
Yeah.
on this farm, and then then my character being all like, "Nah, I gotta take over," and just like that was, which surprised me because it was like a video game series sort of thing,
Right.
but it was different to me, and it was,
Yeah. I like embracing the role playing aspect of. I get really behind my characters in video games like that. So when I make my person or whoever it is in whatever game, like I am not myself anymore. I am
the character.
this character. So every time I will scream like a little girl.
Yep.
Sometimes if there's something that's supposed to be happening to me and in the game, and I'm like running away from it, like I am there. That is me. And so I get the Stardew thing. That's
I feel like that also helps with like ad-libbing and acting to a degree, because in some way you are reacting to something you don't expect,
yeah.
but it's just real life sort of thing. That was really yummy.
That was very good.
I'm glad you
If I had to rate it,
oh yes,
I had the rockabilly. Couldn't even tell you what was in it now that I've had it. Chipotle chicken. But I'd give it
out of 8 SpaceX rockets.
8 SpaceX rockets. Out of 8, I'd give it 7.7 SpaceX rockets.
That's pretty good.
It was solid.
Almost perfect.
If you had to rate it out of 50 Infinity Cups,
Oof. I would give it a solid. I would give it a 45, only because it's like taste. It's perfect. Like all the flavors are perfect together.
Yep.
Texture wise, it's good. It's just a little too messy for me.
Yep.
And that's the only downside.
Yeah.
Especially for a burrito, where I just don't like messy burritos.
I see.
Unless it's like a burrito that's covered in something already that you're gonna cut up anyways.
Right. Like,
And that's like whatever. But
Yeah.
for this sort of thing, if it was a little less messy, which I get, you can't escape that.
Yeah.
But for that point, it loses 5 cups.
all right.
Cool. Well, thank you for doing this.
Of course.
We should go save the channel now.
All right. I guess so.